Yeah.
The band of brothers.
Yeah, there's a band of, the law enforcement in Gotham that are not corrupt, that are
Hey,
out for
Mr.
justice
Wayne.
and being correctly. Yeah, him. He's a constant narrative.
Mr. Wayne.
You know what's hilarious?
Mr. Wayne.
That character was super excited to see Mr. Wayne, but he does not like Batman.
No.
Welcome back to the Wacky Wonderful Wiseworks podcast.
Hi.
We're here again.
I'll keep going through
White
this.
guys in a room doing a podcast.
Is there really no sound in space? Is it because there's no pressure?
Yeah, but there's lasers. Pew 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 pew. If you see like the Death Star explosion, it'd be like. Now there might be a sound if you're on a planet. Well, I don't even know. No idea.
Where does the sound waves go?
I've never gotten to top 3.
You gotta start picking better, man.
I pick good. You just don't like them.
You pick
I
two?
pick good. I pick them. I pick good. Look, Daddy.
Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wing.
That's right, dear.
Dude, I can't take it.
Welcome back to the Wacky Wonderful Wiseworks podcast, all you guys, gals, geeks, and goofballs. We're here.
Goofy balls.
Goofy balls. Right off the top.
Goofballs.
Why would you say that?
Right off the top.
We had an extremely fun time last night watching a brand new movie, which we will be doing a review on this. So if you're here for the review of Batman, if you're new, sometimes when we do reviews like this for big films, we get a higher volume of new listeners. Just want to let you know a little bit of our format. We take our time before we get into it. So if you want to get right to the subject, in the description, there is a time code. You can click on it and we get right to our review. However, we are going to take some time to enjoy a few other things before we get to our review.
Yes.
All right. First off, anything new happening in your guys' life?
Aside from
Yep.
aside from the diet thing.
Oh, the diet.
The diet.
Quick update on
We
that.
talked about that?
We talked about it on the Midnight Special
Oh, okay.
when you had brain fog this past week.
My
Yeah.
my diet has been going good. Pizza rolls and
Pizza rolls and pizza.
no.
Beer, ice cream.
This week I took off because I had some stuff at work that I was like, it's too much to
So wait, you took off dieting?
my normal diet.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you just ate trash.
I ate a lot of pizza rolls.
A week
that's the same for me. I get really stressed and I'm like, I need some pizza rolls or something right now.
Which honestly, if you think about it, is the worst time.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna make you feel like trash.
Yeah.
When you already feel like trash.
Pizza rolls and a good
No,
movie
they make me
or
feel great.
a TV show.
No, take like a week off.
Yeah.
It's good for your body to take a week off.
If I'm like, I need to feel good because mentally I'm not there. What I usually do, I do a little bit of trash mixed with something that's good. So I love to have a steak with like A1 sauce
Okay.
when I feel like trash. And then I incorporate like mashed potatoes that have heavy cheese in it or something.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Like that makes
Yeah.
me so happy. Those two things.
I don't know what I was gonna say.
You're talking.
The diet, your diet.
Yeah.
Not my
I mean,
diet.
for when by the time this comes out, I'll be what?
Weeks.
3 or 4
3 or
weeks.
4
in.
weeks in. At this point, I'm only a week in.
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel healthy.
Healthy.
Yeah.
The hair's looking a little
Real
poofy.
food.
Is that
I think it
you
looks
become
good.
Super Saiyan when you start this diet?
I think it looks good. You know, a diet can change everything about you,
Yeah.
including like your hair texture,
No, this-
your skin.
This is from conditioning.
Yeah,
I like it.
This is from washing my hair yesterday.
I like it. I think it's great. I think you should fully embrace the curls. You know how many? I know you've had it your whole life, but a lot of people love them curls, man.
I was thinking about getting a haircut.
So-
actually.
You thinking?
Yeah.
What about just cutting down the sides, leaving the top?
I don't want to look like that. No.
What?
It's acceptable for him to have the curls, but me not the mustache.
There's a difference between curly hair and
Yeah.
a thin little baby mustache. There's a big difference.
It's almost at the point where you could rock like a butler look.
A
with-
butler?
with a thin little mustache.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to trim the top and bottom of it, so it's
Yeah.
just a line.
It's got to be a butler now because the Italian.
I think I might
thing.
do that
A
for
butler stash?
Otherwise, it would be like a thin little creepy Italian mustache.
But we all know, no Italian here.
Yeah.
I think I might start rocking the mustache, start shaving those
Okay.
again.
Yeah, are you still using that beard oil cream or that beard oil stuff?
I switched it up. I'm trying something different.
Okay.
Okay.
Not doing the beard oil, still doing the roller. And I'm starting to take. I found at Target biotin.
I don't know what that is.
It's just like it gives you healthy minerals and stuff like that to grow,
Okay.
like your nails, hair,
Gotcha.
stuff like that.
Okay.
Gotcha. You looking for them witch nails? That's what you're trying to get.
No, I'm keeping them trimmed. It's for more for the facial hair.
Okay.
Yeah, that's. I don't know where my mind is going right now.
Yeah,
All over the place.
We're all over the place.
I think
was
you're
gonna
thinking
say something.
Yeah. I think on the fly. We've been working out.
Yeah.
We already went on a run this morning, and it is the morning time. I'm going to be in Florida. Is that the Sunshine State?
Yeah.
Sunshine State next week.
Okay.
And so we are recording a little bit earlier, and we're recording it literally like this is day 2 that the movie has been out, Batman.
You're
So
flying
yeah, I'm flying. It's gonna be a real short flight, direct to Orlando.
for real?
Okay.
No layovers, thank goodness.
That's good.
Thank goodness. So yeah, but we're actually, before we get to the review of Batman, which we'll spend a good amount of time on, we are going to open with a reaction to a new film that we actually saw in the trailer last night in the theater. So we decided to go ahead and give it a little reaction, our thoughts. And it's called Bullet Train. So it's starring Brad Pitt.
It's got a lot of actors in it.
It does, and we'll look at the top actor list once we get through this. But let's go ahead and watch this trailer,
Yeah.
give our reactions, talk about it a little bit, and then afterward we will get to our review of the Batman.
There's a gun. It's the quiet car. Gotta use your small inside voice in here, son. There's a gun.
I love the bucket hats.
Yeah.
I hate bucket hats so much.
You're getting a new and improved me. Because if you put peace out in the world, you get peace back.
I think you might be forgetting what you do for a living. Take the gun.
Every job I do, somebody dies. I'm not that guy.
Some conflicts require...
Not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
Hey, this is nice. Okay, what am I snatching and or grabbing?
Operating pulse. You said you wanted simple for your first job back. Doesn't get simpler.
You stab me? We'll ruin your life the way you ruin mine. Dude, I don't even know you. There's nothing simple about this job.
Something else going on here.
Yeah, I'm not the only one on this train looking for this case.
Oh dang!
Where's the briefcase?
Oh, such it. It was just it. Everything that's ever happened to you has led you here. Fate. That's a shit deal. Oh, no, thank you. You know what? Do you have anything sparkling? That's the one. Don't worry about that. Sure you want to talk this out? No, particularly. Okay. Exclusively in movie theaters.
Got it. Oh, my bad.
Cut away.
Cut away.
Cut
Oh
away.
crap. Okay, cutting away.
Hey,
I already cut away, so we're good. But okay, so what do you guys think?
You know, I'm always down for like a martial arts kind of combat movie. And this
Martial arts comedy.
Yeah, and this seems to have kind of that element of comedy.
Yeah.
Mixed
Brad
in
Pitt.
there. Yeah, not taking itself too seriously, having some fun. Good. The director is he's a stunt coordinator and
David?
Yeah, David Leitch.
David, that sounds familiar.
He's a stunt coordinator, stunt man, stunt actor.
Yeah.
And you know, as we know from John Wick, that's kind of.
And he did John Wick.
Yeah,
he did Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
He's done a handful of things, and it looks like his thing is fun, exciting comedy actions.
Yeah.
And wild. Like he's probably has a true love for the action fighting martial arts or whatever, the styles in which you film fight scenes, and the choreography behind it. So he might be, I mean, for some of the most popular ones that do involve a lot of fighting and special techniques and whatnot.
The thing is, you were telling me before the podcast that combat in movies, the action is they're learning such, you know, much better techniques to film action scene.
Let me just cut in here for a moment. I just want to tell you about our Patreon really quick. You can find the link in the description, or you can search Wiseworks on Patreon. We do all kinds of stuff there. We do early access to podcasts and the Wacky Wonderful Show. We have exclusive weekly pre-show before we record any episodes every single week. We do like a 20-minute pre-show, kind of mini podcast for patrons to enjoy. And we also sometimes occasionally have some watch party stuff that recently Wyatt and Josh has made for like watching through a film, and you can hear their commentary in the background. They crack jokes, they give insight, they have all kinds of fun, and we have that on Patreon kind of exclusively at this point for patrons. You also can get your name in the credits of the podcast and all kinds of cool things. All that to say, it's a fun time over there. I mean, there's all kinds of benefits if you enjoy Wiseworks entertainment content. So go check out the Patreon. Once again, links in the description. So let's go ahead and get back to the show. Yes,
You know?
absolutely.
And they're really, even going back to some of the old action movies, some of the old like Jackie Chan and Jet Li type stuff, where they really just pan out the camera and let the guys do their thing.
It's kind of like filming football. They pan out, and they just go back and forth. They just pan back and forth. But that's once we saw really Jason Bourne come on the scene, there was a hot minute for about over a decade of people being like, fight scenes need to be frantic, feel handheld.
Yeah.
And they're moving away from that. They're finding new, interesting ways to show it. And I think the start of it, if I'm being honest, the start of this new filming fight scene did start with John Wick a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you know the director is a stunt coordinator, a guy who'd worked with Keanu Reeves since The Matrix.
Yeah.
And these guys really love getting good action on film.
Yeah, we're not trying to hide anything. They're really trying to show off things. And I think does Brad Pitt, we know that you can just train with professionals and become a pretty good fighter, especially if it's just perfecting like what's going to be shown on screen.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't peg Brad Pitt for like this kind of role necessarily, especially at this point. Like Keanu Reeves, yes, he's always been a very physical actor, more so. He's good at drama, but he's been more good at action and portraying action on screen.
He loves doing the martial arts on screen.
Yeah, so Brad Pitt has always been good in
kind of dramatic
and some action, but good dramas. He's really
58.
Yeah, and so
I just looked it up because I was curious.
Yeah, so seeing him in a role like this, they're bringing a lot of him into the film, obviously. Yet he's doing like this new thing we haven't seen, which is like this really fast action kind of fighting. So what are your thoughts? Do you think it's going to be kind of revolutionary, or you think it's going to feel different, new, or do you think it might just be more of a slightly more funny John Wick kind of film on a train?
I think it'll have some of those elements. I think like a comedy action samurai movie.
I like the idea of it being on a train because that really gives a lot of options for really tight close quarters combat. You know, really kind of old boy style fight scenes as they move throughout the train.
Yeah.
Or, you know, like that scene in Shang-Chi where they're fighting on the bus.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is really fun for combat.
I
And
have
difficult
one
to
thing
film.
though that I think it would make this movie like perfect. You know, I'm gonna pitch to you guys. What do you guys think?
Pitch it.
So, bullet train. They're on a train.
They're on the bullet train.
We throw a werewolf in there.
No. No.
No.
No, not at all. Absolutely. The preface seems simple for this film.
Yeah.
Throwing a werewolf would be unnecessary. From what I got, tell me if you guys picked up anything else. He is a professional thief. He works for this organization.
He's
it
a
is history
professional
with.
something.
Yeah, and he's stealing a case of something. And a lot of other people are there to do the same thing.
But clearly he's trying to do better. He's trying to live his life better.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really want to do this, but he's doing it for some reason.
Yes.
And he's like, all right, this is just going to be a simple job. Grab the briefcase, get on the train, go home. You know, deliver the package, whatever. But everybody else is after the briefcase.
Yeah.
That's
including Joey King's character, which the last thing I saw her in was that Hulu show with her being
bald.
Was she like, it was her mom. What do they call it? Where a kid grows up and is taking drugs. There's been a couple stories about this. It's basically a mom telling their kid they're sick in order to get benefits or drugs or something.
Oh yeah, they're like gaslighting.
Yeah, they're gaslighting them, and then they become of age and they realize, I'm not sick. Actually, when I don't take my medicine, I feel good.
Yeah.
She was in a film on a series on Hulu. That's the last thing I saw with her in it.
Yeah.
And it was wild. But even her, who's wearing like pink, the little bob bang cut, even her with a gun apparently after this case as well, it seems.
Yeah.
You know?
What's in the case?
I mean, this gentleman,
Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm going to butcher his first name.
Give it a go.
Hiroyuki Sanada.
Okay, yeah.
Tons of
what was
like Japanese movies. I mean, he was in Rush Hour 3. He was in
Samurai.
The Last Samurai. He's in the Logan movie where he goes to Japan.
What's
the Wolverine?
What's the game movie that just came out not too long ago? The Japanese game movie.
Sit up to the mic, Joshua. You're too far away.
That was on HBO.
Squid Game.
No, it wasn't a show. It was a movie.
My bad.
You watched it because you were interested in it, and I kind of watched some of it. I didn't watch all of it. It was a couple months ago, but
the Japanese game movie.
Is it a game show or is it a narrative piece? What are you talking about?
I can't remember what it. Just keep talking.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see Sandra Bullock in that trailer?
I didn't see
No,
it.
she
I
wasn't
wasn't
in that
looking. Yeah.
She might have been in it for a moment, but I did not see her yet. She's one of the top.
I'm really
She's playing Maria Beadle.
I'm really looking forward to Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen. Maybe I haven't been watching the right movie. I don't remember what the last movie I saw him in was. Godzilla? Was it the first Godzilla?
It might be the first Godzilla.
The first Godzilla.
Why haven't we seen anything with him in it? He's a great actor.
Such a recognizable face.
He's got those piercing eyes.
Yeah.
I bet you ladies think he's really attractive.
Yeah, and I kind of like the vibe of his character in this movie.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, he's got I don't know, is he I guess he might or might not be actually British. But he was really good in the first Godzilla. He looks like he's going to play a good role here.
Yeah, he's British. Oh, it was like Age of Ultron. He's Quicksilver.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Well, he was in Tenet as well. Interesting.
I can't find this movie. I
We've
don't
seen
know
a
what it's
handful
called.
of stuff with this fella.
Yeah.
But this guy down here, he was playing Lemon. Brian Tyree Henry. Yeah. He looks like he's going to be a funny character.
He's on the come up
He is?
as far as like acting.
Mhm.
He's been in a lot of stuff. He was in Eternals. What was he in? The most recent Godzilla movie. Am I thinking of the right person?
Are you talking about Godzilla versus Kong?
Yeah.
I don't know, actually.
It's
I don't
been so
know.
long since we watched that. I don't
Yeah, it's been a
remember.
minute.
They were like, 11 and her friend, and they meet up with the dude at the facility. Was that him?
It might be.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
think that was
I think
him.
so. The one that they were with,
Like
when
the
they
crazy
said, we're just
podcast
gonna,
guy?
What was it like? We're gonna throw liquid
Yeah,
on this.
yeah,
and-
like, yeah.
I think he might be the
Yeah, I
crazy
think that's
podcast guy.
He's been in a bunch of stuff recently, and I think
He's funny.
He's funny. He's a good actor.
He is a good actor. I think I'm looking forward to watching this, even if it's. The thing is, like, I'm not. I lean towards like drama, really artistic, cinematic, and comedy. So this is comedy. I don't like always go out of my way to watch action for the sake of action.
Yeah.
Like I've never been a fan of Transformers, stuff of that nature, right? So I'm not in action for the sake of action. However, I really enjoyed John Wick.
Yeah.
Even though that was action for the sake
Well, I
of
think
action.
I think there's action, and then there's like martial arts action,
Yeah.
and I think this one kind of fits in that martial arts action.
They even had like the katanas and stuff.
Yeah.
That I don't know what that whole side narrative is going to be about, but they're in a location where obviously this briefcase is important. Kind of like it's kind of tropey. It's like
Yeah.
go find the item in a
It's
briefcase
very tropey.
that you don't know what it is, but you're fighting for it, and other people are trying to also get it. You know?
I think it'll be cool.
I think it's gonna be fun.
I think it'll be cool.
It'll be fun if it's gonna be fun. I know it's
Yeah.
gonna be fun. Also,
Is
the
it
bucket hat.
exclusive somewhere?
Huh?
Is it an exclusive?
I
don't
didn't
know. I
say.
think it's
It's
coming on.
I think it's a Sony. Yeah, it's Sony. So they
Probably
might.
theaters.
It's probably gonna be
Okay.
theaters. Yeah, because Sony usually drops on theaters, and who knows where they put stuff after that. The bucket hat. I just wanted to do a quick side thing. So Tom Segura recently met Brad Pitt.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so recently,
Yeah.
after the production of this, he got his hair. He doesn't have a short haircut. He still has a long haircut, but he put pictures up on Instagram. Tom Segura did for behind the scenes when he's talking to him, and then he talked about it on the podcast, which was fun. However, he's wearing a bucket hat.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brad Pitt is now doing the bucket hat.
Brad
Yeah.
likes the bucket hat.
I like it. I'm here for it.
Is there a new bucket hat meta?
No, if we're gonna say
it's
this,
old,
hold
but-
on.
No, like
I'm not
is there
a
new
bucket-
meta? Like the bucket hat's classic, it's old, but is there like something new that's going on that we don't know about?
I don't know.
No, but
the
I'm
first
not here for it.
I hadn't seen the bucket hat in years.
Yeah.
You know how 21 Pilots correlate certain outfits or costumes to communicate a message specific to certain songs. In the album Trench, Don't Believe the Hype, they did the music video where they are wearing plaid and bucket hats. So the song Don't Believe the Hype is now associated with this bucket hat. So like during shows, Josh will put on a bucket hat on the drums while they're performing that song. So
That was the hype thing.
It's been a while, and the music video came out a handful of years ago. Clifford, the guy I talked to on the podcast,
The Big Red Dog?
No,
Oh.
the pop song professor.
Yeah.
He was in that music video
Oh, cool.
as somebody in the crowd.
Very cool.
Yeah, but the bucket hat's a thing.
Yeah.
Even Brad's wearing it.
It's weird.
So-
Crazy.
No,
Next
I
week
can't.
on the podcast, we will all be wearing bucket
Not me.
hats.
You guys can. That's fine. I'm not.
I might try to find a really stylish one in Florida. A really fun bucket hat.
Stylish one? The only stylish one is the one that it has Jigglypuff all over it. That's the coolest That's the coolest bucket hat.
No, I
I've
kind of
ever
want
seen.
one like him. Just like a lighter color,
All right.
just plain. I think it looks cool, man.
Yeah.
Whatever you
I'm
say.
down. I'm into
I
the
gotta
look.
figure out the meta of the bucket hat, because why would somebody wear such an unattractive hat?
Yeah.
It's not that unattractive. You put a bucket hat on somebody that's stunning, it actually looks
In every
really cool.
movie and show, they put a bucket hat on the nerd, and they put like a little vest and glasses on him to really let you know this guy's a nerd.
Yeah.
Because he wears a bucket hat.
Yeah, but that's like the narrative now. It's like the nerd thing is cool.
Yeah, Joshua wears glasses
True.
unironically.
No, I wear them for the blue light now. It protects the blue light.
Yeah.
And I well, do that on purpose, but
Okay. So there's a reason.
there's a reason.
But you also like the blue light is a factor, but also you have had
yes,
glasses in the
and I
past.
do still, yes, because it's cool.
It is cool.
Nerds. All right, let's transition now before we get to the review. First, Karina.
Karina.
Thank you for being a Patreon supporter. If you too would like to be a Patreon supporter and get a chance at a shout out and hear a little I love you personally from us three, go support us on Patreon. Any tier will give you a chance. And if you sign up for the heavier tier, the $25 a month, you get your name in the credits of every single podcast episode.
And after the podcast, we pour one out for you.
we do.
Yeah.
We pour one
I
out.
have to confess, I just cheers my glass. There's nothing in
There's
it.
nothing in it.
Confess. Karina, thank you for being a Patreon supporter. We love you. And thank you for enjoying these episodes a week early, by the way. Just
A week
another
early.
A
little-
week early.
And exclusive content.
and some exclusive content.
Hey. Ho. You guys want to hear real quick?
Yeah.
I was talking to my cousin, and he's like, man, you know, I'd really love to pay like the $4 a month for your Patreon, but he's like, I don't have $4 a month that I'm willing to give away.
$4? Does he have a Netflix subscription?
I don't.
Does he have
Probably not. He probably uses his mom's or something.
He don't
I
got
was like-
$4.
I was like, all right, well, I worked really hard on this artwork, so I'm gonna send it to you for free because you're
but
my
not
cousin.
the thing. The
But not
artwork.
the audio.
Not the audio, just the artwork.
Yeah, you don't get the exclusive is
Yeah.
exclusive.
I was like, I'll send you this artwork, but I'm like, realize it changes every time we do a new movie commentary.
Realize, and
Yeah.
you're not going to see it all.
Yeah.
You're just not
So,
going to see it all.
If you guys want to see the artwork, hit up the Patreon.
Yeah,
you
Joshua
can get
is-
the movie commentary on any tier.
Yeah, and you're getting the and Joshua and Wyatt has already done one. They have plans to do a handful more.
Yeah.
And at some point I will join them.
Yeah.
At some point. But they're doing movie commentary podcast kind of thing where you hit play and watch a movie together and hear Joshua and Wyatt's nonsense throughout the whole thing.
Nonsense.
Nonsense.
No, it's hilarious, fun, insightful nonsense.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
point of it. It's fun. It's a good time.
Before we get into the movie review, I want to put a review inside a review.
Okay.
We're really teasing this movie review.
No,
It
no, no,
really
no.
blew ball in the audience.
No, I want to review
No, they can just go to the
movie we
timestamp.
watched this morning, or we watched most of it,
Okay. You watched a movie this morning already?
because of last night.
You were watching the animated Batmans.
Yes. Okay, so
Batman
what is it
Long-
called?
The Long Halloween.
The Long Halloween. No, the Long Night Halloween. Or the
The Long Night is
the-
Game of Thrones.
Long
I think
Halloween.
it's the Long Halloween.
Batman The Long Halloween. It's on HBO Max. It is, I wouldn't say it's exactly like the Batman
Mm-hmm.
live action, but it has a lot of similarities,
Yeah, it
and
does.
it's very comic book. It follows the comic book, and I feel like it feels a lot like that. It's a fun
I see.
fun movie, animated movie. You should go watch it.
100% on Rotten
Yeah,
Tomatoes.
yeah.
100?
100, which I don't know that it deserves 100. Granted, I haven't finished the movie,
It's a good.
but it's a good
Fun movie.
Batman movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of another good Batman movie,
Speaking of.
let's hit this review.
Okay. We watched a movie last night.
Yeah, we did.
Boy, oh boy.
Wait a minute. Can we take one step back before we? What would you rate? What would you rate this movie then? If it's not 100%, what would you rate it? 1 out of 10.
I was
we
about
don't-
to ask that question.
I thought we were doing
Oh.
that late. Oh, the one
The
we
one
watched
the,
today.
the Halloween one.
I would give it like a 85, 90%.
I would give it a 90.
Yeah, still pretty
95.
solid.
Yeah, it was solid.
Okay.
Okay, now back to
So
this.
I was going to say, because we've already set our expectations, do you want to save it till the end of the review to say, did it meet the expectation?
yeah. End of the podcast.
End of the podcast. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
First, what do we Geez, what do we want to talk about?
I say we just cultivate. Let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Directed by Matt Reeves.
Yes.
All right. He also directed recently something that us three very much enjoyed was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War of the Planet of the Apes.
It wasn't recent, but okay.
You know, these are the bigger, heavier hitting things that we personally enjoyed a lot.
Yeah.
All right. So when we look at the Batman, it was well crafted. I personally think, comparing it to Matt Reeves, that this was a lot different than other things I've seen from him. Mm-hmm. And now, like, the heavy hitting story pushes felt like him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the execution of visuals, the edit, the audio, everything felt.
I think it was very much a Matt Reeves film.
I'm saying this because I feel like it's a good compliment. I'm not saying this was, or his other stuff isn't good.
I don't know if you're trying to make some other point, but I think it felt like a Matt Reeves film. But I'll just leave it at that.
Well, it definitely had a Matt Reeves. It had the Matt Reeves spin on it.
Yeah.
The story and the direction. I think where Joe is trying to go with this is to really, he really just wants to talk about Greg Fraser.
No, I don't.
I think you really do.
I think so too.
No, I don't.
I think so too.
I think you
No, I
really
don't.
do.
You
were
said no.
ramping up to that.
You said no.
I was not ramping up.
I don't. But then your nose just flared. You flared those nostrils.
No, look.
When you said no, I don't.
No, it wasn't. I'm not ready to talk about Greg Fraser. I'm talking about Matt Reeves. I'm telling you, the way this film moved through the story is a different feel than we've seen other films
what is that,
that he's
from
done.
Point A to point C or
Z,
point A
V,
to
whatever.
B and then C?
It's the
Well,
end.
now you're just talking nonsense.
Yeah, now you're just saying nonsense. Hear me out. The execution of this film, even the choice for certain things, like visuals, like the editing.
Why'd you say visuals first?
Oh, we're already getting into it. You can't even finish your thought.
I'm saying it felt different.
It did feel
This
different.
felt like a movie I've never seen before. Like it didn't feel
No,
even
I would
like
agree
Batman.
with that. I would agree with that. But
This-
it felt like Matt Reeves' film. That's what I'm saying. I would agree with everything you just said.
No, I'm telling you, Matt Reeves tried a whole lot of stuff he has never done before in this movie.
Okay.
A whole lot of stuff.
I think you can tell it was Matt Reeves, but it does feel different.
Yeah, I would agree
the
with
whole movie
what
feels
Wyatt's
different.
saying.
Yeah.
I don't. The visuals, though.
We're not at the visuals yet. No, all right. So
They weren't good.
They weren't good. Okay. So with some of the characters like Catwoman,
Mm-hmm.
Zoe Kravitz, she brought a new spin to Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys think of that spin compared to other? Well, Anne Hathaway. How many other Catwomans have we had?
I mean, her spin was definitely more, I think, comic book accurate. Catwoman, Selena Kyle.
Yeah, I would say
she's very, like, down in the, she's in the streets.
Mhm.
She's in the streets.
She,
She's hard.
Yeah, she's hard. She knows all the criminals, all the prostitutes, everybody,
Yeah.
This is a spoiler review, so we are going to say big spoilers.
Yeah. Big spoilers.
Is her being Falcone's daughter? Is that a real thing in the comic?
I don't know.
There's a lot of comics out there.
I'm really not sure.
Hold on, let me.
I think that the portrayal.
Is Catwoman Falcone's daughter?
According to Sportskeeda, Catwoman is the daughter of Carmen Falcone. In the New 52 comics, mob boss Carmen Falcone is the father of Selena Kyle through legitimate means.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is. So that is true. It is very comic
It is
book
canon.
Canon, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Is that the right way of saying it? When it's off a comic book, it's not
Yeah, it's canon.
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 Okay.
Yeah, when it comes to comic book stories, comics are canon most of the time.
I don't know where to start.
Okay,
for my thoughts.
I want to start here. First off, Zoe Kravitz really studied or really crafted this character as an actor. She did, because if you notice the way she moves, especially when she's in her Catwoman suit, when she was like doing the lock, right, and then there's that little doorway that backs up and goes down. If you look at every little detail, and also you have to live with a cat to catch these things. Her reactions to things is quick like a bird, yet smooth like a predator, like a cat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like the way she glances, like everything. She got down to the dirty details of the physical acting for this character.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people are going to pick that up except for people that are really observant. And it was right on the nose. So much better than like the portrayal of who Catwoman should be. Mm-hmm. I thought was so much better than even what Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway was smooth, but she felt more like what's the Incredibles woman?
Oh,
Mrs. Incredible.
Mrs. Incredible.
Yeah, kind of just the smoothness of her, but this was predatory.
Live.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna kind of do the whole film at the end, but just Catwoman. Give us a 1 to 10 on Catwoman, and give us Anne Hathaway's version and then her version.
So,
because I want to see how you compare them. Like
all right,
1 out of 10.
This is what I think. So, when it comes to Catwoman, I wouldn't say I have the most knowledge because I haven't done a lot of comic reading. Growing up, I wasn't into reading a lot. I did look at pictures, but so when it comes to the traditional Catwoman from the comics, I don't have a strong educated guess, but I have seen most of the Catwomans and a handful of the cartoons, as well as pretty much all of the live action stuff that she's been in. I think compared to Anne Hathaway, who's the two most recent Catwomans, I think that 1 out of 10, she hits like an 8, really high up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anne Hathaway was around a 6.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would agree. Maybe like an 8.5.
She brought the character of Catwoman elevated seriously, you know?
I'm going to say my first critique of the movie was the Batman Catwoman fight in the home of the dead guy.
Yeah.
It was very, it had the punches and it had. I would have liked to see that fight in complete silence. Just two silent ninja-like people going, just punching at each other.
All you hear is flesh.
Yeah, just the hits.
Yeah,
and maybe breathing. I would have liked that fight to be just really
because they both are ninjas.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been a beautiful addition that I didn't even think of.
I don't want to get into this though. This is why I don't think they did it. How they created the Batman suit was very big boots, big character.
Bulky across the board.
It wasn't slim ninja Batman.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that later.
Yeah, our Batman in this was very. It seemed like they honed in on the detective element.
Oh.
This movie was really detective-y. And it was less ninja Batman.
Can we break down Batman as a whole as a character before we get into the story?
Yeah.
I don't want to say this because I've already said it. I'm going to give my thoughts because I said this in before reviews.
Yeah, and I'll get a lot
and
of it.
And then I'm just going to say it and then I'm going to be done with it. I'm not going to say it again. So I had cores with Robert
Qualms. Cores.
Yeah, I had cores light with with Robert Pattinson because I don't know if his acting style is good. I think for this film and how they took this film, he played it well.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was like probably 90% Batman, 10% Bruce Wayne. There wasn't a lot of Bruce Wayne in this movie. So I feel like his Batman was fine, and he played it fine. If they added more Bruce Wayne to the movie, I don't know if he could play that character well enough because he wouldn't be able to switch into this, and it would definitely be a character.
Sit up at the microphone, Joshua.
This Bruce Wayne character of the billionaire playboy
but then
character.
Wouldn't that make it more believable that that he's trying, he's faking?
But I don't think it's because he's purposely acting like that. I think it's his acting style. He's very like somber, like not saying much, but just looking around, being the detective,
But he is an actor. Their ability to pretend to be somebody else
think
is
Robert
part
Pattinson
of their art.
Would be able to. There's a difference between actually switching and playing this role of not being this upbeat character, but playing this upbeat character of Bruce Wayne, but then doing it and not really playing it well, and you were like, oh, it just ties into the story, but no, it's more of his how he acts. He doesn't act. He can't act that character, I don't think. Okay, but it was fine because he wasn't Bruce Wayne a lot in the movie. He was just Batman.
Right, let me have you react to some of the comments from your last statement. So when people were upset with you online, they said things similar to, this is going to be a different style Bruce Wayne. It's year 2 into him being Batman. He's still filled with anger. He's still filled with, in a lot of ways, rage towards this Undercity. He's never really emotionally, and we saw from the movie that the way he responded to Alfred a lot of times, it's the wound of growing up the way he did, and then the city being what it is still a fresh wound to him. So, and then a lot of people are saying this is a different version of Batman that we've seen before. So like Christopher Nolan, Christian Bale, his Batman had a different take on everything than what this had. So it's obviously not the same universe. They're going to be dealing with different things. So with that said, how do you respond to that? Because it's meant to be a different Bruce Wayne than you've seen before. Does this Bruce Wayne, in your opinion, work? Because it's different. You said you don't think he can play the character, but he's a different kind.
Of the 10% that we saw Bruce Wayne when Alfred got injured from the bomb, I don't think it gave me exactly what I was looking for in that version of Bruce Wayne. I know it was a different version of Bruce Wayne, but I don't think it quite gave us what it wanted because they didn't show, and I understand they weren't focusing solely on that. That wasn't a big part of the movie, so they didn't put that much into it. And I don't think it gave us enough of that.
I personally hate billionaire playboy Bruce Wayne.
But it's part of
it is part of him. And I love the scenes where you see Bruce as Bruce for like 5 minutes, and then, playing up that character, and then, he escapes into a back room or something or another. And then all of his interactions between Alfred, I like. I really like the playboy version of him as a very small role in the background, because I think Batman is the character.
I don't think we didn't get a Playboy version of him. We got the billionaire version of him.
We wouldn't get a Playboy version in this time. I agree. But even the interactions with Alfred, it didn't feel like what Bruce Wayne's interactions with a father figure would be.
Well, I think they're still kind of figuring each other out, because even as he's sitting by the bedside, he's saying like, I should have, I should have paid more attention to the person who raised me, essentially. So they had a really good moment. I think all of the Bruce Wayne stuff that we saw is going to build on Bruce Wayne if they do another movie with Pattinson.
The vibe I got from this for the Batman character was, we are bringing it into the early days of Batman. The city knows who he is, so we don't have to introduce him. We know who Batman and Bruce Wayne is in theory, so this film was to get us warmed up to the idea of this new kind of Batman and this new kind of Bruce Wayne. So yes, they are going to take Bruce on an emotional roller coaster over the next handful of films.
Yeah.
Probably, I'm going to guess they're going to do 3. If they're lucky, they get 4. But they have to set the groundwork well. That means we already know. I think they'll probably get to 3 films. I think so. They're doing groundwork for basic relationship for Bruce Wayne and how he sees himself in Gotham City, mixed with how other people see Bruce Wayne in Gotham City.
Yeah,
and then you have this loved but confused mentor of his, who's the only other person who knows about his Batman persona, which is Alfred. And he cares about him a lot. And he also cared about his parents a lot.
Yeah.
And so there's this, they didn't need to do a lot of development with them for this film, but they do need to set the groundwork and get you used to this Rodney Pat
interaction.
Do we
version.
I feel like we're dabbling into story at this point. We can go forward with story, but I want to talk about more characters and then get into the story at the end.
Real quick,
Do we have any more characters?
Batman as just Batman
Yeah.
is probably my favorite Batman. Probably of all the Batman I've seen up till this point is probably my favorite Batman. I think he looks cool.
Can't say what you're gonna say.
Since you're bringing this up, we'll finish your thoughts.
I think he looks cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think they really got the detective part down, and the fighting is really good.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it was a great Batman.
Okay. Let me set the stage real quick, and I'm going to be quick. All right. They have to. I've always thought Batman is emotionally troubled.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dark city. Darker, the better, in my opinion, for Batman. Some people disagree. I think go dark. All right. We made a comment earlier on another podcast. Why isn't this rated R? I mean, it was this close.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, it was this close to being rated R. So I personally think this is the best Batman. I also personally think
It's the worst.
it's the best Bruce Wayne.
I would say
We didn't get a lot, but I can see where they're going. I can see where Matt Reeves is taking him, and I can see where Robert Pattinson is taking him. And I think he's the best Bruce
it finger
Wayne.
guns?
I think he's the best Bruce Wayne of the interactions with Alfred that we've seen, like real Bruce Wayne. Like, I'm Batman, and when I take off the mask, I'm still Batman with you, essentially.
Well, he sees himself as still Batman always.
Yeah, always. I don't think we have seen. They didn't show us basically any of, Bruce Wayne as
Being
the face,
Bruce Wayne.
the real mask,
The
real
persona.
mask, Bruce Wayne. We haven't seen that.
We haven't seen it, but the thing is, the reason why I can see where they're going with this is because they are bringing us into a new Batman franchise with Batman, who is Bruce. The Bruce version of Batman is emotionally troubled.
Yeah, he's
even
got a lot
into
of trauma
adulthood
and scars.
Even 2 years into being Batman, he is still very troubled.
Yeah, I think you played that very well.
And I can see where that kind of character can go, and that makes me very excited. I think, obviously, Christian Bale's a brilliant actor, but Christian Bale was this I'm all about business version of Batman and Bruce,
Yeah. What are you talking about? Fake Bruce or at home Bruce?
At home Bruce, he was a bit more emotional with Alfred here and there. He's concerned about he might not be enough for the city. But the fake Bruce was even dealing with Fox,
Morgan Freeman's
character. Who knew he was Batman. He's still all about business, take things a little bit lighthearted. I think darker the better for Batman. That means the direction they're taking this Bruce Wayne is the best.
I mean, this isn't Bruce Wayne.
Not
Clearly,
this.
but.
No. The way they're taking this Batman for this kind of Bruce Wayne, I think it's beautiful. I love it. I think it has potential to morph into something that's going to blow everything else out of the water.
What do you think of this character, the Riddler?
I think 75% of the movie, I was thinking, this might be the best Batman villain on screen ever. This might outshine Heath Ledger. And then the last 25% of the movie, I thought, didn't quite cut it.
Yeah, why didn't it quite cut it towards the end for you?
I almost felt the same too.
So his masterful plan ultimately was executed. It worked.
Yeah.
And it made you frightened of him the whole movie. It took you on a way that's saying, like, you have to be extremely, like, quick to understand the riddles he's playing. And then when they demasked him and got him behind bars, his whole persona now relied on these henchmen who weren't going to execute it like him.
Yeah.
So the finale of this villain was ultimately not him. You know what I mean? And that took away from him as a character, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
I can agree with that.
Yeah, that's
it was his
I
idea,
felt.
but the execution wasn't his, which all the rest of the film he's executed perfectly.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. And that's all I have to say about the Riddler.
No, the Riddler I think was a great character, really, really good Batman villain.
Mm-hmm.
The sort of Unabomber, Zodiac killer kind of vibe that you get from him. They opened it really strong.
Strong, man.
Really strong with him just showing up in some dude's house and killing him.
Yeah, but before that, freaking
spying on him.
Goggles. Binoculars shot.
That was really good.
I liked all of the
way to open a movie.
The riddles, and even leading up to the film on the poster, there was riddles that you had to uncode to kind of figure out the secret message. Something we didn't stay for the post credits, but there was a video I found online. If you I wait till the credits, and there's a website that pops up, and it's a code. It takes you, if you go to that website, it takes you to, it says like click here, and it's a riddle, and then it shows you this picture with a bunch of riddles on it. I'm gonna put it out to the audience. If you can figure out what it is, I don't know yet. We haven't found out what it is. It's like a secret code.
It's in his Riddle Code.
Yeah, it's a secret code that you get post-credit scene if you go to the website that they put there.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I love it when movies do this crap, man.
It felt very good to watch, him play with Batman, sending the riddles and everything. Felt.
Do you
really
think
good.
Batman was a little too quick to figure some of this crap out? I don't know. Every riddle he threw out there, Batman's like, "This is the answer. This is the answer."
That's Batman.
It's like he knows right off the top.
Well, but no, I mean, he messed up with he thought it was a rat or a bird. He didn't know.
Yeah, there was one mess up that was a heavy mess up, but every other thing, like, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, Batman is the super detective.
Yeah.
Which was my other big complaint is the Riddler never said that. Never said,
Detective.
Answer my riddles, detective.
Yeah.
Because he always said that.
So you wanted the fight scene to be silent, and you wanted the Riddler to call Batman detective just once.
Yeah. I'm sort of going through kind of my complaints about the movie before I really get into what I liked.
Yeah.
Well, we're breaking down characters, and then we're going to talk about the movie as a whole.
Yeah.
Wow.
The Penguin.
What a fun, interesting character to bring
No
in.
complaints about the Penguin.
No complaints.
Colin Farrell.
Very good.
Kicked it out of the ballpark. Do you have the cast list up?
Yeah, a few slides down, so let me get to that.
Because I just want the people.
All right.
That's Colin Farrell.
You might not be able to see him well.
Holy crap!
He played and he was the detective in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
I didn't know that was him.
That's Colin Farrell, y'all. Isn't that crazy?
Holy crap!
Absolutely insane. The makeup. Shout out to the makeup department.
Oh, absolutely. I think we're gonna look at some of more detailed creators towards the end here, but yeah, no, I think he was a threatening presence, authority presence, and yet in some ways we actually did see him through brute force kind of best Batman a couple times.
Yeah.
When they were trying to steal, they found the body in him and Catwoman, and she's trying to take money from him. I mean, it's like he's on the money. Like you don't mess with him. He's got a reputation for a reason.
He's Falcone's right-hand man for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
brilliant.
was crazy.
And I'm super excited to see how they're going to advance his character in the next couple films.
Oh, man.
I loved spoiler, he didn't die, obviously.
I loved the little homage to him being the Penguin when they tied up his hands and feet and he's like, hey! And he's like waddling like a penguin. Don't leave me behind!
Yeah,
that was really good.
Brilliant. I don't know how much to say about him other than...
That's all I could say. Wow, I didn't realize that was him.
Which I actually did a video recently where I talked about Star Wars and how do they how do you show emotion for a masked character? And I brought up supporting actors really sell an emotion or really sell another character. So how do supporting actors interact with them? The writing for his character was brilliant because supporting actors all around him, including Batman, how when we first saw him on screen pretty much, you know?
Yeah.
When Batman first goes to the club and he's fighting and everything, and then he stops the fight and he meets with him, even Batman to some extent has a hatred mixed with respect for his underworld position
Yeah, the
in
gravitas,
Gotham.
yeah.
And he's not like trying to get him in cuffs or beat him up or anything. He's literally trying to do a deal to get information.
Get information first.
So he has gained the authority of Gotham City.
Yeah.
And it's such a cool way to set up Penguin because that's who he's been as a character.
Better than Danny DeVito?
Yeah.
That will have, I haven't actually seen that Batman.
I'm just throwing it out
Danny
there.
DeVito.
I don't know.
character.
I would be surprised if
I
we
love
saw
the Penguin as this mob boss character.
which he always was meant to be. Like he's supposed to be a
Yeah.
mob boss. If you're gonna make it feel like this world,
Jim Gordon.
Jim Gordon.
Jim Gordon. Yo, this man is ride or die.
I know.
In that scene,
I know.
In that scene where you were just saying Penguin starts opening up fire on Batman and Catwoman, Gordon opens his door and just return fire immediately. I was like, dang, he could have sat in his car.
Just
What
ducked.
Yeah.
I didn't
Also,
know who
he
played
told
for
Batman
this
to-
character either. Who played it better though? This guy or the guy in?
Gary Oldman
Yeah.
or Jeffrey Wright.
They both played it pretty good, I think. I don't have any complaints.
I
Really?
think
I like it.
I
You
think
like
we
this
haven't.
character better?
I love Gary Oldman, y'all.
Mhm.
I think Oldman played a fantastic.
Absolutely.
Their relationship between him and Batman felt good in the sense
it
of
felt
because-
like best friends.
not just best friends, but like
No, as soon like they got like in the police station, they were
Well-
upset at him, and instantly he goes to, "All right, punch me in the face. You're gonna get out
You're
of here."
getting out of here.
well, yeah, but this everybody keeps calling Batman a freak. They're like this freak, and he's the only one sticking up for him.
Mhm.
That
He's
that
one of the few-
relationship
Yeah,
felt good.
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They felt like best friends.
Look,
It was fun.
I think Gary Oldman's Jim Gordon is one of the best characters in the Christopher Nolan Batman movies.
Yeah,
But Jim Gordon has always been a really good character in the Batman comics and in the other shows. He's always been there. He's always been ride or die. For and then his daughter becomes Batgirl. So ride or die runs in the family.
yeah. What a wonderful portrayal of Gordon.
Yeah.
I loved the little details of how there was like two different occasions where he would be like, I'm guessing it has to be a little bit of improv acting, where he would be like, you need to calm down a little bit, man, referring to Batman. Like just the casualness of their interactions and relationships. Because it's like, I'm guessing, since it's 2 years into Batman, figured out Batman pretty early. It's about 2 years into them working closely on this crime world, And it's super cool to see the turn where he kind of feels like he's alone on the force, where he feels like everyone might be dirty.
There might be corrupt.
And then at the end you see, no, there is still a band of
The band of brothers.
Yeah, there's a band of, the law enforcement in Gotham that are not corrupt, that are
good.
Hey,
out for
Mr.
justice
Wayne.
and being correctly.
Yeah,
him.
guy.
He's a constant
Mr.
narrative.
Wayne.
You know what's hilarious?
Wayne.
That character was super excited to see Mr. Wayne, but he does not like Batman.
No.
If you create any kind of content online, you know that it's a serious headache to find music that works, especially on YouTube. That's not going to get copyright claimed or is even going to allow you to post the video. I mean, literally YouTube will block your video if a company has a copyright claim on certain music. So the best way to do that is to subscribe to a copyright-free, public access subscription site. And the one that we use, the one that I think personally is the best one out there, is Soundstripe. I've used it for 3 to 4 years now, and all of the content we create at Wiseworks uses this music from their library. You can sign up month to month, or you can pay annually. And if you use the link in the description and use promo code WiseWorks10 at checkout, you will get 10% off your first purchase, whether that's a month or a full year. It's extremely beneficial. So take advantage of that if you are creating content or commercial work or anything like that for online use, and enjoy the endless and multiple genre style music library that they have for you to take advantage of. So let's go ahead and get back to the podcast.
Again, another character no complaints about.
Yeah.
Ride or die, Jim Gordon.
Ride or die.
Andy Serkis.
I got a lot of complaints about
We
this.
were texting about Andy with Tim, actually, or you were.
I think Alfred's number one goal in the Batman movies is to forward the narrative of Batman's past, of his interaction with his parents, all of that. I think there was just enough of that in this movie. I wanted more, honestly. I wanted more interaction.
That's what I was saying with not getting the Bruce Wayne part of Robert Pattinson's acting. I wanted just a little bit more with this.
I wanted more with Andy Serkis.
I only count 2 scenes where that narrative was really pushed. Like a deep conversation between Batman and Alfred. I only counted 2 scenes. Right? There was a handful of scenes with them in it.
Yeah.
But I only, like, serious development, I only noticed 2.
And honestly, the 2 scenes that we really got were the one where he's trying to get him to go to the event, and the one where he's in the hospital. Those scenes, the second one was built on the first one, which is a really good way of telling a story. If he had just been in the hospital and be like, no, your dad was a good man, I trusted him, I was supposed to be there for him, that would have felt weird. But we had that first scene where he's like, your dad gave me these cufflinks. You know, I may not be a Wayne, but
I'm a part of the family.
I'm a part of the family.
Yeah.
I feel like Andy Serkis as an actor. So he's done so much for, like, Gollum. He's done these characters.
I mean, he did Caesar with Matt Reeves already.
Yeah.
In 2 films.
But I almost feel like, and I don't know if he's doing this or not, but it almost feels like Andy Serkis as a character is like, I'm old now. I'm going to turn the corner and be this older supporting character.
Be the mentor character.
Or even like he was part of he does a lot of the mocap kind of stuff these days because he set the standard with Gollum, with Caesar, and so he's kind of there helping.
Yeah, he was
people.
one of the creators for Venom.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis as a person has become Alfred, as he's in the back.
The movie making Alfred.
Yeah. He's.
I don't know. I don't think
in the
he
back
has the
helping
acting
that.
chops to play Alfred. I don't know. I just we haven't seen enough of him. I don't think he could play him. I don't know. He's Andy Serkis. It's just
get out, get back over here.
No, I liked every bit that Andy Serkis was on screen. I think my favorite, probably my favorite line in the movie is, he's like, "You're not wearing your cufflinks, Master Wayne." And he's like, "I don't want your cufflinks, Alfred."
I don't want your cufflinks.
I don't want your cufflinks, Alfred.
I will say the relationship between them is as much of, because think about this. I mean, a lot of Batman fans already do think about this, but the only person who knows Bruce from childhood that's really connected to him in this story is Alfred.
Yeah.
Bruce, Robert Pattinson, he tended to be a little bit more of that, like, you know who I am, you saw me in diapers, I'm a little more whiny to you.
Yeah. It always felt like he kind of reverted to
teenage moodiness.
Almost teenage moodiness when he was around Alfred.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want your cufflinks.
It's either like,
get out of here.
It's either I'm Batman, I'm trying to solve this.
Yeah, you're not my dad.
You're not my dad.
I think he literally
You're not my dad.
He literally said to Alfred, "You're not my father. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
Get out."
But then, he realizes he doesn't want to have to relive the loss of his parents
Absolutely.
with the loss of Alfred.
Yeah.
It was good what we saw. I wish there was a little bit more.
Well,
So
Andy Serkis has a little bit of that gravitas, that roughness
Mhm.
under the surface that you can see just by looking at him. You get someone like Michael Caine and you're like, I love you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. you can't be harsh with Michael Caine
yeah,
because he gets emotional.
Yeah, he's
Right.
like,
he gets emotional.
And Michael Caine, Alfred just wants the best for you. Just across the board. Just you can feel his love.
I feel like Andy is this character that the Bruce Wayne's parents died, so he picked up the mantle and he was like, I'll raise Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Andy's Michael Caine is more like your grandfather that
took you in.
Yeah.
took you in, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, since we did this with Catwoman, let's compare Alfred's real quick.
Ooh. That's not a
There's
fair.
there's not
because
enough Alfred
they're
in this.
both good, but they're both good in their own way for different reasons.
So you're gonna rank them the same number on a scale of
I
1 to
don't
10?
think we have
Probably.
enough Alfred yet.
No, we don't have enough Alfred, but
Because this looks like he's got a scar on his face. He's a rough and tumble Alfred. He's
Yeah.
been through some stuff.
he's definitely a rough and
He
tumble.
started
And he even-
Bruce on his way to fighting. He's like, I could teach
Yeah,
you
he
how
even
to
said
fight,
that. Yeah,
Mhm. Let me just say this really quick.
real quick.
The aesthetic was a lot different for this movie. Interesting choice for Wayne Manor.
Yeah, it felt very
It
church-like.
Church-like,
Mhm.
a little bit
Old
of
school
Catholic
Mm-hmm.
inspiration built for like a home.
It felt like that in The Dark Knight, though, like the Christopher Nolan.
No,
No, that was definitely
that
not
felt just
as
like
much,
that was
manner.
just like a mansion with hints of classic build. This was
like, full Gothic crenellations and stuff inside.
I mean, they basically had stained glass windows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it's cool. I like kind of haunted looking Wayne Tower, Wayne Mansion.
I'm just saying, you think about the aesthetic from this film to any other Batman, but because Christopher Nolan was able to make his Batman, we are getting this Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Batman.
There's always steps for every director, every group of people that make
Mhm.
Batman. You have you're trying to step up from the previous Batman, or at
Yeah.
least pay homage to by not making it sucky,
Right.
And because of Christopher Nolan's Batman, we are able to see something that's this good.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you naturally are gonna compare it back.
Right.
Like, we're not really gonna compare this to Ben Affleck's Batman.
Mhm.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, because it's two different kinds of Batman, and maybe artistically, developmentally, they don't really compare. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, that's Alfred.
That's Alfred.
It's a bad picture.
This is the only one online, dude. All right, let's real quickly mess with the Falcone. Falcone.
Yeah. So Carmine Falcone was...
He's a mob boss.
He's a mob boss. He did the mob boss role very well.
Perfectly.
Yeah, very good.
I wouldn't expect this actor to be in it, but
I didn't expect it either.
he didn't do it bad.
No, he played Falcone like just like a kind of menacing mob boss.
It was that gentle spirit of someone who's extremely dangerous.
Yeah, that's good.
Taking hard cues from The Godfather.
Yeah,
everything was taking hard cues from The Godfather.
He felt more he felt like quietly dangerous.
Yes.
While the Penguin was definitely like the muscle danger.
Yeah.
I feel like he is if Fredo wasn't a mess up.
If
brother
Fredo wasn't a mess up.
and he became the Godfather. That's what this.
No, dude, this ain't Fredo.
No. If Fredo wasn't like a mess up.
If Fredo was really cool.
Yeah, if Fredo wasn't the guy to make things up in the
Yeah.
family, and he became the Godfather instead of
Maybe.
Michael.
I don't know. I don't think Fredo had as much backbone to be this kind of character.
That's what we're talking about. Like if he wasn't if he was actually cool and not.
Well, just pick a different Godfather character who actually is good.
Yeah, no, I liked Falcone a lot, but I don't think there's a ton to say about him.
No.
He had a specific way for this character, and he kept it consistent throughout the film.
Be scary, be manipulative.
Yeah, we also saw. Oh, he's not even scary. Like, he's actually a comforting presence. You see him do things and say certain things to certain people that make you shiver. You're like, oh crap. Like, this is not a man that can be trusted, you know? Because he smiles to your face. He's actually comforting while he's choking you out. Yeah. You know what I mean? And it was an interesting. He had one thing and he stuck to it and he did it well.
No complaints on Falcone either.
All right.
Wait, before we switch, who is a better character? Falcone or I just lost it, from Daredevil. You know, the mob boss guy from Daredevil.
Kingpin.
Kingpin's better than
absolutely Kingpin. Okay. Kingpin.
Well, you just Marveled or DC'd it right quick.
Yeah, I did.
Kingpin was on screen had more character development, but I think if Falcone had been, on 3 seasons of a show, we could have really honed in on what kind of mob boss character this was.
I can't give an opinion. If it's Kingpin from Hawkeye, Falcone all day. But I haven't seen what you guys. I haven't seen the other bit. So let's go ahead and briefly mention. So a couple characters that play kind of a pivotal role in the story that aren't as big characters. You got Jamie Lawson, who is running as the mayor after the death of the mayor that literally is the open, You got Peter Sarsgaard. Sarsgaard. That's not...
Sarsgaard. It's different from Skarsgård.
Yeah, it took me by surprise. I'm like, that's pretty dang close. So he played the district attorney, Gil Colson. He's if you saw the clip, he's the guy that's tied up. Obviously, if you've seen the movie, you know who he is. He played kind of an interesting role that because he was the pivotal character for Gordon and everyone else to realize the level of corruption in the politicians and everything.
Because he wasn't going to name names.
It was centered around him for that reveal. And
I think he was he played a good role of,
He was a dirtbag.
It was really cool because he was like, Batman's like, give me the name of the rat. And once he realized this is where this, these riddles are going, he was like, no, I think I'd rather die. I'm not going to give up this information. I'm going to die instead. Yeah. He's like, I'm not going to risk my family. So instead, he made a decision.
Yeah, once he figured it out,
he literally said, honorable for that?
He literally said, you're talking to a dead man.
No, but he wasn't going to give up his family. He was willing to die to not give up his family.
And that's important, but...
that was the thing that was the weight for what's going on in Gotham that really changed the narrative moving forward. And then, kind of interestingly, it seems like Jamie Lawson's going to play a big role in the next movies. She was in the film. Nothing she did was super pivotal for the film yet, or for the story, but it seems like since she is becoming the new mayor, that she's actually going to play an important role with a close relationship probably to Batman, definitely Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean? And then also other things like with Gordon and whatnot. So I think it's I think across the board, do you have any like hardline complaints about any actors for this film?
No, I'm a little curious. Barry Keoghan? I don't know. It's Irish or Scottish, maybe.
The unseen Arkham prisoner.
The Joker character?
Looked like the Joker to me.
Looked like, yeah.
He's he double dipping? He was in the Eternals.
He is double dipping.
He's double dipping.
You can't double dip.
Double dip. I mean, there's been plenty of actors who have.
I mean,
Jeffrey Wright.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's true.
I saw a clip of Jason Momoa at the premiere for this movie saying, because that's his stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Zoe.
Yeah, Zoe's his
Kravitz is his
stepdaughter.
stepdaughter.
So he was at the premiere giving an interview, and he said, I'm in Marvel, she's in DC, type thing.
That's
they're
true.
both in DC.
They're both in...
They're both in DC.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said Marvel. He's Aquaman, not...
Yeah.
That's not...
Wait a minute.
Yeah, they're both in DC.
No, I was thinking, I thought recently, oh no, when I was thinking about Jason Momoa, I was thinking he came out with, he's promoting two characters at the same time.
Yeah.
He's promoting something for Netflix and he's also promoting something for HBO Max.
Yeah.
Because he's in both.
Yeah, Paul Dano as the Riddler.
Yeah.
Crazy
Brilliant.
good. Crazy good.
Okay, the one thing about Paul though is his characters, he's a really good actor. But he has found a niche, and whenever they need just a crazy, smart, but crazy, creepy, nerdy guy as a villain.
Crazy, smart little white guy, little creepy white guy. Yeah, he knows how to do
Paul,
it.
he's
he
doing
felt
it.
a little chunky in this. He ain't looking like that.
Yeah, he's gotten older. Everybody.
Compare him to what other roles has he done? He played that creepy role in Prisoners.
Yeah.
He gets tortured in
I haven't
Prisoners.
seen a ton of his stuff.
Almost all the things I've seen, he has vibes or on the nose this kind of character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Paul, you have found something beautiful. I'm glad it's working out really well for you.
Yeah.
Yes?
We're still going through this.
Yeah. I just wanted to acknowledge a few things.
Yeah.
Greg Fraser, of course.
Director of photography.
The DP of photography. That's redundant. The director of photography, Greg Fraser, he did Dune. He did the first season of Mandalorian. He's done Rogue One. He's doing Dune Part 2. Just in my opinion, humbly, the best director of photographer out there.
Yeah.
But because I talk about him and will continue to talk about him, I want to bring special attention to William Hoy and Tyler Nelson, because I have never seen an edit like this movie. Ever. Literally ever. It was so incredibly thought through, creatively crafted.
Well done.
Creatively crafted. Yes, that works.
I have almost no qualms about the visuals and editing was incredible. It was one of the most visually pleasing Batman movies ever.
The only thing I have qualms with is the car chase scene with visuals.
Are you kidding me?
How dare you?
I'm kidding.
Okay, I'll say this
I mean, it
first.
wasn't. It was good filming, but I don't. In today's standard, it was today's standard.
It was. I don't think
Are you
it
kidding?
was like. I don't think it was like.
It was not today's standard.
It was. For some reason, it was extremely visceral.
Yes.
The car chase scene felt extremely visceral.
And I have a theory, as I think I know why.
Okay.
All right, but first, let me say this. I want to acknowledge this guy right here. A lot of people and fans didn't care for this shot.
Yeah.
And this sequence of shots because they said it felt like it didn't fit the rest of the film. I beg to differ because if you watch the film, there are tons and tons of moments, especially during action, that is this classic, feels like GoPro strapped to something moving look.
Yeah.
All through the film. Just because they put one on his helmet and did a sequence that looked a little animated doesn't mean it doesn't fit the aesthetic for the rest of the film. It actually really did fit the aesthetic.
What'd you guys think of the wingsuit scene?
I thought it was great. They're introducing a concept.
It was good, but it
that's
was definitely early on wingsuit.
It's like
the
early
only wing one.
I mean, the original Batman in like the comics and stuff, he didn't have like a Batman. He had like a glider and stuff, but he was using the grappling hook for the most part.
I love the exit.
It fit, but it almost felt like we want to it was almost kind of the scene like, we're going to show where Bruce Wayne is with his technology thing. It was like, let's just have him one time do this bat suit to show it's not quite developed yet.
And end horribly. Which you looked at me in the theater and said,
everybody was
like, he's dead. He's dead.
Yeah. That was cool. I got to get into story stuff. All of my notes are on story stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like we've only scratched the surface because we went through the cast
All right,
list.
let's get on this. So story, you wanted to talk about story, Wyatt.
Yeah, I'd like to start with what do you guys think? What did you guys think of the kind of journal entry monologue, beginning and end? Where were you guys on that mentally?
I liked. So the opening dialogue of the Halloween,
the voiceover stuff.
Yeah, the voiceover Halloween felt good.
Yeah.
For the story.
You talking about the animated? The Halloween.
No,
you're talking about the Halloween, the open, the shots during Halloween. Okay.
Which was an homage to that comic, the Halloween one. It felt good. It showed us where Batman is. It doesn't give us this, like, the origin story. He's already Batman. He's been Batman, but it's still early on Batman.
Yeah.
We hadn't really, not that I'm aware of, I don't think outside of the animations, I haven't seen a monologue
a
voiceover like that in a Batman film before.
I liked the sort of journal entry style. For some reason, the latter, the one at the end, felt a little bit I don't remember exactly what he said, but the monologue at the end felt kind of corny in some places for me. But I don't mind Batman kind of journaling his journey.
Yeah. Which, if you think about it, they kind of took a similar approach. So with Marvel and Spider-Man, Tom Holland, they brought you into the story, him already being Spider-Man. We know the origin story, so later when he alludes to being bit by a spider, we know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
We've seen Batman, we see his origin story in multiple different versions, right? So we know that it seems like they were doing the exact same thing, but taking a different turn to get you into this new franchise. And by that, we needed to feel the vibe and the voice for Bruce Wayne, the kind of mental headspace he's in to get started, and introduce us to the physical story of where Gotham City is at, where Batman is at.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, like when they had that shot of that dude who just robbed the store and he's looking up and he sees the Batman symbol in the sky and he looks in the shadows. Wow.
I really loved all of those scenes.
I was smiling ear to ear.
The criminals are looking in the shadows.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I was smiling ear to ear, especially with kind of, it has a demented feel when you have someone in a mask with like a smile and you
can tell from their body language that they're scared.
It's always unsettling to see someone, especially in a creepy mask, all right? Across the board, it's unsettling. So they had guys with face paints on right at the top.
Yeah.
Like skull face paint. They had a dude in a mask, a creepy pumpkin mask.
It was
right at the beginning.
It was the face that's on the packaging for the drug, the drops.
Okay.
So that's
I admit I didn't catch that. That's cool. That's a cool detail. Thank you. Basically, it's unsettling visually as humans to see it.
Yeah.
That's why the Joker's so unsettling. To introduce us to this new story and to get a feel for Gotham right off the bat, they're giving us things that are going to make us feel unsettled.
Yeah.
It was a purposeful choice to do that. Because if you just show a regular faced person doing crime things, it shows the crime world. But if you want to see how unsettled and disoriented the city
doing
is,
hood red things,
make people uncomfortable. Usually put on a mask that's going to make someone uncomfortable.
Yeah. The other story, like the story thing, I think I had the most issues with. That was a big part of the movie, and it harkens back to what we said. This is Batman the detective, not Batman the ninja.
Yeah.
Is his it's very ominous. It's very cool, and it works with the music. That music. What was the music? The boom, boom.
Yeah. We heard it in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing at the end of the trailer that's showing the Batman symbol.
Yeah.
They constantly brought that little riff back.
It's his boots. Boom,
Yeah.
bong, bong.
Yeah.
It felt like ominous rather than ninja.
Yeah.
Which I'm hoping to see a little bit more. Maybe
More ninja.
Maybe he'll get a little bit more training. Maybe there might be a little bit more ninja-y stuff in the next movie.
Get some of those
What is he gonna
Bruce
do
Lee
with this?
forearms.
Yeah, a little bit of training. But that's kind of my other like aesthetic story complaint. There was, for the most part, like the story as a whole felt like it flowed really well. It felt very detective-y. It felt very film noir kind of stuff. I think I enjoyed the story, this Batman story, more than the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed this Batman story more than
Christopher Nolan?
the Chris Nolan Batman movies.
It felt way more comic book.
Yeah, it harkened back to the animated movies that they've done with Batman.
I feel like Christopher Nolan's Batman was Batman, but it was almost a film adaptation of Batman.
Yeah.
This felt like we're going to take everything from the comic and make it into a film.
Mm-hmm.
And
what a beautiful job that they did. I would say, aside from some story beats, this is the best Batman story that they've put on film.
Mm-hmm.
But my biggest complaint is a lot, like more than I feel like should have been. A lot of the writing didn't hit for me.
okay.
There were a lot of writing beats that felt.
Are you talking about dialogue?
Like dialogue.
Okay.
That didn't land. It felt like the actors were delivering the lines well.
Yeah, just fine.
But the writing was either a little bit too much exposition or a little bit too much comic book.
I think it hides. I think they're probably going a little bit more towards comic book than exposition. They did have things to explain.
Mm-hmm.
I see where you're going with, and I agree with that. However, they hid that so well with the show don't tell elements of this movie. Like almost every feeling Batman is feeling, especially when he's in the suit, is communicated not through words.
Yeah.
Some people referred to how he was on screen as it kind of felt like an alien observing humans. You know what I mean? So everything he did was predominantly show don't tell until they had to move the story along in like a big scene. So we need to communicate. Why is he going to? I don't know. What's the why? Why is this politician running for this? Well, then we need to clearly describe in the scene that the mayor was killed, and then for this reason.
Well, I mean stuff like even going down to when Selena's going through the bar and he's watching like through the eye camera.
Yes,
he's watching and he's like, "Oh, look at that dude," and she looks and it's the police officer, and he's like, "I fought that guy."
He broke his nose.
He's like, "I fought that guy, and I broke his nose." It's like she knows all this. That was needless exposition, except for him to be like, "Oh, that guy I fought is a police officer."
Yeah,
it's like he clearly fought him.
Yes,
but I think they go so far as to be like, "I fought that guy and I broke his nose." The delivery was fine. The writing wasn't.
Yeah.
Or when Selena reveals that Falcone is her father.
Because he's my father.
Because he's my father. That was.
Yeah.
That was weird.
That felt
I like
odd.
I want to disagree with the Batman portion of it, because although he has Alfred, I think right here, even opening up, he said, "I've been doing this for 2 years. I've been in the dark for 2 years." I think Bruce Wayne has been Batman for so long at this point, or it's not so long, but 2 years, that he's almost, he doesn't interact with people. It's just, I go and I hide in the shadows, do my thing. I don't have this human interaction.
Yeah, no, you're right. That it easily could simply be a lack of human interaction. And he's like, I feel the need to describe everything to her, you know? And you're right, that could be it, because his interactions with her are different.
Yeah, but I think my father, that wasn't great.
Yeah, that one felt cheesy. There was another couple lines of dialogue that were very in your face, kind of unnecessary, that we didn't really need, that made the movie kind of halted how you were watching the movie. It's like, that didn't need to be there, or that didn't need to be there, and I'm kind of it detaches you. It takes you out of the movie when that's kind of how the writing is going.
My favorite story element was how they showed us the crime boss, the crime in Gotham, if it be with the scene with the guy that gets the bomb strapped to his neck and decides to die. When we first see him in the club, you're like, oh, that's how deep it is. That's how corrupt the police is.
Yeah.
Then we also see it in, I just lost what I was going to say. With the Wayne charity,
yeah,
how they said that has become so corrupt
that was
the
just,
Wayne
it was just taken by the majority.
Crime.
Yeah, the Wayne family literally funded the crime for the city.
Also, I'd like to point out a really good story beat that this movie hit is Martha Stewart's mental issues. Like she was in and out of asylums.
Yeah.
She had severe mental issues, which tracks because in one version of the Batman, Bruce is the one that gets killed, and his father beats to death the guy who did it, and Martha becomes the Joker, loses her mind. But also, it kind of shows us like, after what he saw, the trauma that he saw, you know, and like Martha saw the trauma from her family of her mother like killing her father and killing herself.
Yeah.
You know, he's got these same mental deficiencies. Like he's experiencing trauma here.
Yes.
And, you know, because this is a grown man who's dressing up in a bat suit.
Yeah.
It's a grown man who's dressing up in a bat, and you feel that when he's like walking into the
Freak.
house. Yeah, at the beginning, he's like, "This is a grown man in a bat suit." You know, but I mean, he's cool.
Yeah, no, it plays super well into the complexities of emotion. That's why I said this was at the top. Talking to you, Joshua, that's why I said it's and so many other people are saying this is a different kind of Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. I like something that I don't know how accurate or good it is, but I feel like I liked it because it was something fresh. So all superhero movies, we get this, he's got a mask on. Who is he really?
Yeah.
We didn't get a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah.
Even like walking through the house with all the police officers around him, they're like, "You freak, you're wearing a mask." But it wasn't who's behind the mask. It was just you freak wearing a mask.
There was a scene where they tried to snatch it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
I think that also you get a lot more of that when you see Playboy Bruce Wayne. Is a lot of people are like, well, who you think is behind the mask of that crazy bat guy? And Bruce is always like, probably some weirdo freak, you know? And but this
probably someone who's compensating for something.
This Bruce Wayne is like, no, I know that this is weird. I know that I'm kind of a lunatic in this situation, but I feel like I have to do this.
Yeah,
Because all the villains are.
And
They have to be afraid of
and
something.
it plays off of this, I think probably some of his mental illness of not growing out of certain things because he didn't have parents that raised him that way.
Oh, yeah.
He just had Alfred who was like, yeah, you probably should get your revenge and I'll teach you how to fight. And so that has stuck with him into adulthood and that kind of childlike sense of somebody needs to be a superhero. Superheroes dress up in capes and they, you know, that kind of stuff.
But I swear,
Okay.
The Incredibles have ruined us. That scene where they're dragging him by his
Capes.
cape, all I heard was Edna
capes.
saying, "No capes."
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they kind of address this mental state that Bruce is in when he's talking to Catwoman.
Yeah.
Because she brought up he's dealt with the same loss that most people in Gotham have dealt with on some level. And yet he was still a millionaire. He was still coddled. He didn't live a dangerous life.
Yeah.
He just left a hurt life. He
that
lived
was
a
part
hurt
of
life.
that was part of the Riddler's thing too, is like, you know, an orphan. You think you're an orphan. You don't know what being an orphan is.
Yes.
Not only is it losing your parents, but it's sharing a bunk with 30 other kids, rats nibbling on your fingers. There's no money from the charity that's supposed to be here.
Kids dying from being too cold.
Yeah, and you're living in your mansion. Boo-hoo, your parents died. All of our parents died. You know, that kind of stuff.
Or our parents left us in trash cans as babies.
What was the riddle? What was the orphan riddle? Where he's
There was too many. You're asking me to recall something.
There was a riddle where the answer was, it's like an orphan is the answer, and we're sitting there, and Batman's reading off the riddle, and before he says anything, I go, an orphan.
Yeah. You say an orphan.
I was like,
and then
an orphan,
and then somebody, another character's
Batman
like,
goes,
orphan.
an orphan.
Yeah, yeah, but you caught it like
an orphan.
You caught it like 2.5 seconds before he got it.
And Joe looks over at me like,
How
are
the
you
heck?
Batman? I don't
Yeah.
know. You never seen me in Batman.
You're
Same room.
That's true.
Although you know it's me, I'd put on the cow and be like, very clearly have. I think even my lips would.
Yeah, they're too plump.
They're too distinct.
Your whole mouth section is way too
It's way
distinct.
too distinct.
The chest knife,
Yo, the chest knife.
the bat knife.
He goes,
sick.
This is a removable attachment.
I was like, the bat EDC? Sick. Like the bat knife. He just, you see him cut open the tape, but then he's walking in and he goes, sling. I was like,
And you're like,
oh.
Did you just fart a little?
No,
That was his stomach.
Oh.
I think
no, it wasn't me.
I think I looked at it, I thought the wings do look sharp. That was really cool.
That's a pretty safe place to keep it also.
Yeah, it's right here where you can grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were we watching the other day where they were painting, I think it was Blade Runner, and she was painting on makeup on her eyes, and you said Batman every time he decides to go out.
Batman
He's like
getting ready for the evening.
putting on makeup
I
on
mentioned
his
this
face.
a long time ago, but gosh dang it, do I love that side thing.
Yeah.
The grunge of Batman and Gotham City, but the grunge of, yes, I put on the makeup to cover up the eye section. I think that's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's gritty. It's loose. It feels, and when he takes it off and he's still got the eye makeup on, it looks so.
And he's talking to Alfred.
Yeah.
And it's like, this guy is very clearly still Batman right now.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever turns
It's just
off
more
being
moody.
Batman.
It makes everything grungy, and I loved it. And across the board, I think it was beautiful. What other story beats or issues?
I thought I remembered another line in his monologue where he's like, this city is broken and it has scars. And I'm broken. I was like, all right, emo guy. All right.
Broken.
He's like, but those scars can heal. I was, okay, yeah, you're right. But he's like, this city is broken. I'm broken. I'm Batman.
I think we touched on a lot of stuff, but we should rank it. Give it as 1 through 5.
Can I say one more thing before we go?
Yeah.
And it does involve Greg Fraser.
Yeah, better not.
It does. So I'm really interested. I'm really interested to see the color
correction.
No, not just the color correction. 'Cause we saw it. We saw it happen. I'm interested to hear the color messaging behind it. So I want to hear other like filmmakers and people, artists, break it down because we had tons of orange. Reminds me of Godfather. You know how the orange played a big thing. Orange. Let me finish.
Oh, okay.
When it's just Batman, they focused on the red color with him, you know? But we had this contrasting color. So the main colors I saw, very dull, almost no colors, kind of green hue when he's Bruce Wayne. When he's Batman, a lot of reds. Across the board, a lot of oranges contrasted with this nice blue hue. So, hue.
No, I was just thinking. I was just imagining being like nerd.
No, I'm telling you, the intentionality behind this.
Yeah,
there is messaging, and I'm curious, and we all should do more deep research into the messaging. I have to
watch the movie a second time because there were maybe
many 3 or 4 times.
There were so many things
5,
in this movie
6 times
that I was thinking about. That
you guys want to go watch it again today?
No, I'll wait. I'll wait a little bit, but.
But yeah, there is messaging in the lighting for this film. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up does also still involve the filmmaking. The action for this film is filmed differently. You know, we already brought it up, but one thing I noticed that I wanted to just touch on one more time is the fast action almost doesn't exist. Almost all of the hand-to-hand combat we see that Batman does is this wider to medium shot that does a push in, and it's a gliding camera. It's a smooth shot. There's no franticness in the filmmaking. Everything that's frantic is the action in front of us.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of cuts. There's actually a lot of camera holds that just follows in a smooth gliding way.
Even the car chase scene didn't have a ton of cuts.
That's what I was saying.
That felt frantic without a ton of cuts.
No, it did.
That car chase scene.
For real, on the car chase scene,
I've been disappointed, you know, and let down by car chase scenes in the past couple of years because every movie has one.
Yeah.
They're always the same.
What about the moody teenagers?
They're not if Tom Cruise is riding a motorcycle 100 miles an hour.
I've seen it.
But Tom Cruise,
the movie.
Tom Cruise,
I've seen it.
Tom Cruise is better than Jason Bourne. With car chase scenes, that's what I'm just talking about.
They all run together in my head. For some reason, this car chase scene reminded me of what a car chase scene is supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
It brought me back to my roots, you know, like going all the way back, like Herbie Fully Loaded. It felt real. It felt visceral.
That's more of racing than car chase.
But yeah, I wanted to be in that car with the Batman. You know, I wanted to be in the car with the Penguin.
Yeah.
It
not with the Batman coming
so
after you.
Real, and his car was sick. It felt very early Batman.
Oh, got him.
Yeah, I got him. I got you.
He's like. I got you. I got you.
You.
And then it just comes out of the flames.
Yeah, and then Batman's like, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
I don't remember the exact riff, but they played it.
Pretty close.
A ton of times.
That whole, I legitimately, during a car chase scene, and then that whole end bit where he's slow motion walking upside down to the car, I for real got teary-eyed.
Not allowed to talk about it.
I felt like
I got teary-eyed.
It felt like playing Arkham City. It felt like playing the game. I was like, I am this Batman.
That's right.
Every time he gets in the fight, I'm like, yeah, if you click Y, you block the guy behind you and then refocus attention on him. And then there's another guy coming in, so you got to click A and Y, block him, take his weapon, hit him. It was like I was playing Arkham City, but Batman had the controller.
And a big part of that was the filming style, like I said. That slow, wider angle shot of this hand-to-hand combat. Wow.
Give me 5 words or less. Give me 5 words.
Yeah, all right.
I don't even know if I have 5 words or less.
I have 4.
Okay.
Can't wait. Don't delay next. I'll just say that. I'm
not really about the
I'm
movie,
ecstatic.
but-
Yes, it is. I can't wait. Positive review. Don't delay the next one. So it means please don't make us wait for years and years, Matt. Hurry up and get a really good one.
It's like really similar to my 5 words.
Okay.
My 5 words were definitely worth the wait. Pog.
If I'm gonna
Pog.
5 words or less, it's like slim down Batman suit, maybe.
No, I like it.
You're bringing this
it's
now up,
Slim enough. It's not too bulky. It's not
The-
like
the
think about
boots,
like
how-
Ben Affleck's Batman.
I don't think the whole suit in itself is a problem. I think it's how they filmed it with the psychology of the filming plus the suit. They filmed it very looking up, very big boots, very big Batman.
But you saw
We don't see
we watched the Long Halloween. You
Yeah.
look at him compared to Catwoman. It's the same thing as in this movie.
Mhm.
Catwoman
but I
is
want to see. I
slender
wanted to
and
see
shorter.
more
He's
ninja
tall.
version.
I
Batman.
think they'll get into that. I think
Okay.
they'll
Yeah.
definitely get into that.
I'll get into it.
All right.
Rank it.
Let's rank it real quick, but we got to wrap it up. We're getting long.
We're getting-
I think we have to have 2 rankings. The movie out of all movies,
Uh-huh.
right? You got to rank it just like a regular movie. I think you also got to rank it on the Batman movie tier list.
Okay. All right. But
Like,
you have to
where
have a
does it
threshold.
rank for you?
All right. So movie across all movies,
Mhm.
hard 9. It actually fulfilled my expectations.
Okay.
Batman movies,
8.5 for me.
okay. So 10 being the best Batman movie to date,
Mm-hmm.
and actually let's call 9 being the best Batman movie to date, which some would say might be The Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving this. So 9 is The Dark Knight. If it's better, you call it 10. If it's less, you rank it down from there. So I call it, on Batman movies, I say 8, if not 9.
I'm giving it a 9 on that scale. On the scale with the on par with Batman movies,
Yeah.
I think it's perfectly on par with The Dark Knight.
Okay.
I would also say it's probably about a 9, but it was a good standalone Batman,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was a fantastic Batman movie. If you were trying to bring this Batman into a Justice League, it's impossible.
At its current point,
It's
it's impossible.
impossible.
If they do something with the story down the road, to introduce it in an interesting way, it would have to be an interesting way, good story, good everything to introduce it into a bigger
Yeah.
universe. Otherwise, leave this
Yeah,
Batman
it has
in
to be a
his
standalone.
universe. Yeah,
This is the Arkham game universe.
yeah. This is Arkham. Let's leave it there. So it's a 9 on par with The Dark Knight for me.
For movies across the
Yeah.
board.
And then for movies across the board, I'm gonna give it a
I think
8. Because I did have I have more qualms with the movie than I was able to express.
I'm gonna give it a little bit higher ranking than the Dark Knight movie. But if like I want to bat characters against characters like the Joker and the Riddler, I can't.
No.
I don't want to. But I'm saying as a story and how they portrayed it, I like it a little more than Dark Knight.
Okay.
There's our rankings.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get into our last segment, which we end every episode with. My bad. I won't cut away.
Okay. Thank you.
We end every episode with this season with a terrible tier. So a movie you should not watch that came out 2021.
Yeah, we just got off a big movie that everybody's been waiting for, and that you definitely should watch, especially if you like Batman and if you love Robbie Pat. But we need to talk about a superhero movie that came out last year that should be banned.
Should be banned.
Yeah.
All right. You ready to go? Steve?
Yeah, let's go.
Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Did you pick a superhero movie just because?
No, actually, I didn't even realize these lined up. This is the worst superhero movie.
I have not seen it yet. I wanted to. You watched it alone, and so
All right,
I didn't get to watch
we
it.
don't have to linger on this like a movie review.
This
give a
is the
reason
worst
why you should.
superhero movie. It just was plain bad.
How does it compare to the first one? Because the first one
Worse
wasn't
than the first
great.
one. The first one wasn't great, but the first one established really good character stuff. Not a great villain. Not like I expected Carnage to be really cool. Should have been rated R. Suffered from being PG-13. Dialogue bad. Visuals looked cool.
Andy Serkis was big behind the visuals.
Yeah, there was way too much in this movie that was just awful, and
Don't waste your time.
Don't waste your time.
No
Just
time
don't.
wasted.
Unless you really like Woody Harrelson, unless you really like Tom Hardy,
And you just want to see some interesting looking creatures
and
fight.
you just want to see the creatures fight, but you're gonna have to wade through
Bad writing.
a bunch of bad writing and crap.
All right.
Watch
So turn your mind off and just stare at it, and maybe you might enjoy
this.
it.
You might enjoy it.
I don't know. Depends on how stimulated you are by
Yeah.
visuals. Real quick, just to end this off, I know it's a little bit longer one. We love you for sticking around if you hear it at this point. Don't forget, we have the Midnight Special coming out Friday nights at 10 p.m. on Spotify, other audio platforms. And if you're interested in watching the video version of the Midnight Special, you can catch it over on the $10 tier on Patreon.
Yes.
So $10 a month tier. So if you enjoy the podcast, specifically the Midnight Special, then I think you might want to, head out to Patreon.
Yeah.
And follow us over there
because
you get some
version.
There's a video version. You may not have known that, but there is. So there you have it. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of the Batman.
Oh, they will.
At length.
They will.
They will.
I will read it at length because I'm curious.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. We love you guys.
See ya.
We'll see you in the next podcast.
That was a
long podcast.
Absolutely.
But, I could talk about Batman all the time.
Mm-hmm. Did you turn it off?
I think if I watched the movie again today, I could give you a more accurate review of
you think
everything.
Yeah,
everything.
I need to watch it on a smaller screen now.
So I say this when you were still in the car. I said I almost feel overwhelmed watching it. Did I say that when you were there?
There was like 5 points where you did. I think you did say that, but there was like 5 points.
I didn't say it 5 times, but yes.
No, there was 5 points where it felt like the movie should be ending right now.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it got to the car chase scene. I'm like, all right, the movie's about half over. I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
To be honest,